Hey there. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about setting up your rotational grazing as far as your paddocks are concerned. So you're going to have to maybe get on Google Earth or find lot size or something like that and find your actual pasture and kind of set up a layout of how many acres you want per paddock and get your design kind of going on paper before you actually go down and start building fence. Um, you want to set your permanent fences or your high tensile fences or whatever you're going to tie to. What I do is take high tensile fences around maybe 40 acres at a time and then set those fences about 435 feet apart. And I set a post every 20 feet in those fences. So that's electrified, high tensile wire. And then when you're running your temporary fences, your poly wire, from one of those to the other to make your paddocks, you can move 100 feet, so that would be 5 posts, and you have an acre, or 200 feet and 2 acres. However much you want per paddock size. It's really easy to figure. You don't have to stop and really calculate it because you can just count the number of posts, and it's figured for you. That makes it really easy, and moving about 435 feet, reeling it up on a reel, putting it back on the next side. Even if you're putting a back fence, that's quick. You can do that with your temporary post, 15 or 20 minutes, the whole thing, and move the cows, and that's you're done. So just something to think about. I'll kind of get into some pictures here in the next little bit. Okay, so I just shared with you some, rectangular fences that work out really nice, but you're going to run into some things like this where you can't do a rectangular area, or you've got structures in the way, or what have you, and you're going to have to make some different setups. So you can change it however you want to. This wagon wheel, I've got 2 or 3 places like this where we only have water in the center, and we run wagon wheel spokes out to make the different paddocks, and that works too. You just do what you have to do. This one is not mine, but it's a pretty elaborate setup, with a lot of different paddocks on it. He obviously has water in each one of those, so that he can, move the cattle, move the water, and have everything he needs inside the paddock. Here's one with some structures. The house is there, maybe barns, permanent fences, and things that you can't or don't want to move, and you got to be kind of creative about how you set it up. This next one is pretty elaborate, and the yellow lines on mine anyway are not permanent fences, so those actually aren't there. Those are where your temporary wire would go, and so that makes it, you don't have to build all those fences, but you put them up one time, move the cattle, and then you take them back down and move them to the next one. This one is probably permanents, and he's put his gates in, put them in the center. Kind of a good idea because cattle will tend to, if you go to the corner, a few of them won't go through, so they'll run down the fence, and they're trying to get back over there, and it's kind of a mess. Going through the middle, it works pretty well. The next thing that you really want to think about is your controller. I'm using an AC DC. It works on either or Stayfix X6, the 6 joule with a remote control. I just bought that PV board off of Amazon, and it's a 50-watt control, or 50-watt charger there to keep the battery charged. And then I've just got a Deep Cycle Marine 12-volt battery on it, so it keeps the battery charged up. And that, you can build it yourself quite a bit cheaper than you can get it fully assembled for. Here's another one with a 30-watt charger, and it's just hanging on a fence post, so I can move it from post to post. And same deal, battery set up, and hook it, clip it to your wire, and you're good to go. Those The remote is a really good deal. You can be half a mile from that fence, put your remote on the wire, turn it off, fix a problem, open a gate, do whatever without having to worry about getting shocked. Turn it back on, and you don't have to go run back a half mile to the controller each time. It also has a fault finder to help you know where you're looking, where which direction, if you got a ground out or short out, because you're going to have some of those. And it's way easier on a lot of fence to know you need to go this way instead of that way to begin with. But you know, just kind of research it. There's a lot of good information. You want probably 2 joules per mile of wire. If you double wire, both of them are hot, then you know that counts as your total footage of wire. The other thing you'll need is a charge controller. So you got your solar panel, charge controller, and then your battery. This is a 30 watt on a cloudy day yesterday, 11.4 volts you can see there. Pretty good, no sun at all. So, you know, that it's still putting charge in the battery. The book probably that helped me more than any was Jim Garish's Managed Intensive Grazing, or MIG grazing. This thing is packed with information and ideas. Has chapters broken down, and I've got it on my desk and I reference it all the time. You know, there's always some question that comes up, so having a good resource like that, and there's a lot of others, but having a good resource like that is just, you know, really helpful to have right there at your fingertips. So hope you enjoyed that.